obviously the top 30 in the Ballon d'Or, it's quite hard to predict and can be very questionable at points. But I thought, why don't I, for now, make a power rankings in terms of kind of predicting who at this stage of the season I think will be in the top 30 in order from 1 to 30, and ultimately who I think will win the Ballon d'Or. But do bear in mind that I'm sort of basing this on, okay, how they've performed so far this season, and then I'm also just projecting how I think the rest of their season is going to go based on, how they've been doing recently in the last couple of games and how their team are performing, etc. So it's not necessarily like this is my prediction for the Ballon d'Or, it's just sort of right now, what am I sort of thinking maybe will end up being the Ballon d'Or ranking. So yeah, bear that in mind. It was very, very hard to put this together. So I've made the 30 because that's how many get nominated for the Ballon d'Or. And yeah, of course this will change as the season goes on. It's very dependent, of course, on who wins, the league in their respective leagues, and the main one really who's going to win the Champions League. Of course, I don't know that, but again, I've sort of just projected maybe roughly about who might win what. So yeah, give me your thoughts in the comments below who you think is going to win the Ballon d'Or this year, but more importantly, who I've maybe missed out or snubbed from this top 30, because it was very, very hard to come up with this. And yeah, let's begin though. So we go from 30 to number 1. So in 30th spot I have Jonathan David. Now Jonathan David has been at Lille for a while now, and many expected he would make a big move to a top European club for quite some time now. He may well do, with his contract expiring this summer, but David is going out with a bang if that is the case with Lille this year. He is the Ligue 1 top goal scorer right now, and likely will end the season as Ligue 1 top scorer, and he is also performing fantastically in the Champions League too, with Lille having pulled off some shock results, including beating the likes of Real Madrid, a game where Jonathan David scored in. David probably will end up going trophyless if he stays at Lille though, which means he can't really rank too high, but getting on the top 30 list is definitely in reach if he manages to keep up this form and finishes the season as Ligue 1 top scorer with a potentially shock run in the Champions League. Number 29, Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak is one of the best strikers in the world right now, and he has been truly sensational for Newcastle this season. He is in the form of his life right now, and is really now entered the race for the Premier League Golden Boot Award. Now, unfortunately for Isak, he's not really going to rank too high unless Newcastle pull off something pretty remarkable. It's unlikely he will win a trophy this year, and he also isn't helped, like a couple players we'll get onto. He's not playing in European competitions this season, so he's only really got the Premier League to go off, and you don't really rank too high just based on your league performance unless you do something remarkable. However, his Premier League goal scoring record, if he continues at this pace, should be enough to get him his very first Ballon d'Or nomination. Number 28, Gabriel. Gabriel has been a rock at the back for Arsenal, and ironically one of their best attackers too. He has been sensational from set pieces this season, scoring a bunch of goals this year for Arsenal to help their title push. Now, amazing and are unlikely to win the league this season, meaning his chances of a really high finish in the Ballon d'Or are pretty low. That being said, he should get his first nomination for the Ballon d'Or this year due to how good Arsenal's defence has been and the amount of goals he's scoring as one of the best goal-scoring defenders really in Europe right now. And that would be a nice personal achievement for Gabriel. A good run in the Champions League could also help his chances of getting a nomination too, but I do think he probably will end up getting a nomination, but just won't rank very high. Number 27, Omar Mamouche. Mohamed Salah might not be the only Egyptian on the 2025 Ballon d'Or shortlist, with Mamouche emerging as one of the most informed forwards in Europe, making a blistering start to the season with Eintracht Frankfurt. Mamouche may need a January transfer to a Champions League club to become a legitimate contender for the Golden Ball, though Eintracht have made a very strong start in the Europa League, meaning European silverware might not be beyond the 25-year-olds. He's doing exceptionally well and is currently in the race with Harry Kane for the Bundesliga Golden Boot and also top assist award. And if he can keep this great form up, he will no doubt make the top 30. If he can also potentially win a Europa League in there too, then Mamouche could generally finish quite high actually, but for now I've put him in 27th just because I don't know how much he will be able to sustain this form and if Frankfurt will actually end up winning anything. Number 26, William Saliba. Saliba made his first appearance at the Ballon d'Or last year, and he's most likely going to become a staple at these awards for years to come. However, this year, while I expect him to make the list once again, he probably won't be ranking that high. That's not really any fault of his own. He's been very good for Arsenal once again, but it's more so due to his team likely, as I mentioned earlier, going trophyless this season once again. Unless Arsenal win a major trophy, Saliba won't really be finishing much higher than 26th. 25th, number 25, Bradley Barcola. PSG have struggled massively in the Champions League this season. However, in the league, they have been dominant, and Bradley Barcola has been the main man for them. With Kylian Mbappe gone, Barcola has stepped up in his absence, leading the attack as the young star. PSG are very, very likely to win Ligue 1, and Barcola as the main guy in the attack will likely feature on the Ballon d'Or top 30 as a result. However, with PSG unlikely to achieve anything in the Champions League and maybe even getting knocked out and not making the knockout stages, he's going to be limited to a maximum of 25th spots. Number 24, Ryan Gravenberch. The first of a couple Liverpool players on this list. If you had told me I would nominate Ryan Gravenberch for the Ballon d'Or at the start of this season, I probably would have sent you to a psychiatric ward, to be honest. But such is his improvement under Slot that he deserves to be nominated. Gravenberch has been amazing in the midfield for Liverpool as one of their best and most important players this season. With Liverpool likely to win at least one major trophy this year, Gravenberch is going to be a big part of that, and it could be enough to see him get into the top 30. But unfortunately there's much bigger, more flashier names in his Liverpool side, so he likely won't get the flowers he deserves and rank very high, but still getting a Ballon d'Or nomination considering where he was euros at the start of the season is some achievement, so well done to him. Number 23, Antonio Rudiger. Rudiger was very harshly placed at 22nd in the Ballon d'Or rankings last season. That was despite him being the best centre-back in the world, leading Madrid at the back to the Champions League, whilst pocketing strikers such as Erling Haaland and Harry Kane in their UCL run. Sadly, I'm not sure Rudiger will improve much on his ranking from last year, because it's quite hard to perform better than he did last year, but he should definitely get a nomination once again. Rudiger has been fantastic again for Real Madrid this season, but unfortunately Madrid in general haven't been. And so if he finished 22nd last year, this year, unless Madrid turn things around completely or he just is unbelievable in the second half of the season, I'm not sure he's going to better it, to be honest, so I have him just one below in 23rd. Right, the next two I'm going to do together here. Number 21, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Number 22, Nicola Barella, and number 21, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. The Inter midfield pair come in at 22nd and 21st, and it was only fair I ranked them together side by side. Both are equally as important to Inter, and they have complemented each other's games very, very well. Inter are looking to retain their Serie A crown, and Barella and Hakan have continued this season to be crucial to their title hopes, as they were last season as well. Both players made the Ballon d'Or shortlist last year, and so you would expect if Inter were to win the league yet again, or have a good Champions League run, they will make the list together this year too, and I have them side by side in 22nd and 21st because I don't think either has been significantly better than the other. They've both been equally as important. 20th, Federico Valverde. Valverde managed to receive a Ballon d'Or nomination last year, finishing in 17th spot, and it's most likely going to be the first of many for a player who is so consistent. Madrid have struggled this year, but one of their most reliable and consistent performers as always has been Valverde. He's already filled in many different positions as the utility man, even playing left back due to injuries this season, and he's played every role to a very good standard. Madrid probably won't have as good a year as last year, meaning Valverde ranking will slightly drop compared to last year, but overall his level has remained largely the same, and he continues to be a top quality midfielder, and that is why he gets a Ballon d'Or nomination. 19th, Pedri. Pedri was once the golden boy of Spain and Barcelona. While that title has gone to Lamine Yamal now, Pedri remains a vital part to Spain and Barcelona, and is one of Barca's best players when fit. Luckily for Barca, Pedri, for the first time in years, has largely remained fit this season, and it's no surprise that Barcelona have seen a bit of a resurgence this year. Pedri has been crucial to Barca this season, and if they can win a major trophy, Pedri will be in with a chance of a pretty good ranking in the Ballon d'Or. Now sadly there's a lot more flashier and bigger names who have outperformed Pedri in terms of goals and assists in his Barca team, but in terms of importance to their side, Pedri ranks right up there. Number 18, Victor Gyökeres. An absolute revelation since arriving in Lisbon in the summer of 2023, it feels like Gyökeres' hat-trick first man silly in the Champions League was his true breakout moment, with the Sweden strikers' goal-scoring exploits now receiving the global headlines they deserve. Sporting, however, have not fared too well since Ruben Amorim left for Man United, and that is ultimately the determining factor in how high up the Ballon d'Or ranking euphoric eventually finishes. That is, of course, unless he switches clubs in January himself. Either way, just for the sheer amount of goals he has and will score this season in Portugal and in the Champions League, Gyökeres will get his first Ballon d'Or nomination, but I have him in 16th just because I think in the end Sporting, they've seemed to have fallen off a bit under Amorim. I'm not sure they're going to have a sensational season, but his goals alone should get him a fairly high nomination. Okay, in 17th, Erling Haaland. Rodri became the first Ballon d'Or winner from the Premier League since 2008 last year, and if there is to be another recipient of the award, then Haaland is definitely one of the most likely candidates. With the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden enduring slow starts this season, Haaland has had to lead from the front of Manchester City for pretty much on his own, to be honest. He could be on for a third consecutive Golden Boot despite Manchester City struggling, which is pretty remarkable to be fair. But Team Silverware does look very, very uncertain following City's collapse, and Haaland will need his teammates to step up if he is to have any chance of claiming the ultimate individual honour. Unless Manchester City somehow turn it around and win the Champions League, it does seem Haaland, even though he personally is having a very good goal-scoring campaign, won't be winning any trophies this year, but I think just for the goals and also the way the Ballon d'Or works, it's not fair, but just pure name value, he's going to get a fairly decent nomination in at 17th. In 16th, we have Marcus Thuram. Lautaro Martinez was rather harshly placed in 7th last year, despite being top scorer in both the Serie A and Copa America. However, this season Lautaro has fallen off, with his front partner Marcus Thuram picking up the pieces and likely to replace him as Inter's best chance of winning the Ballon d'Or this season. He's been the main man up front for Inter this year, with a sensational goal-scoring record of nearly a goal a game in Serie A. Inter could win Serie A again, and if they do, no doubt it will be due to Thuram's terrific goals. They might also have a run in the UCL too, which I'm sure Thuram would likely be a key part of. So based on this fantastic goal scoring, it looks as if last year was Lautaro Martinez's chance at the Ballon d'Or, and this year's will be Marcus Thuram's. 15th, Bukayo Saka. After finishing 21st in the 2024 rankings, Bukayo Saka will be looking to make leaps and bounds, both in terms of his overall position and in his game as a whole over the next 12 months. The winger has gone from strength to strength under Arteta and is now one of the most consistent performers in the Premier League. Up until now, Saka has improved his goal contributions season by season, and we'll be hoping this season is no exception. Saka has been super important to Arsenal, and it has been made clear this year, with the Gunners struggling to function while the winger has been injured. Saka individually has been absolutely fantastic, but what may hold him back in the Ballon d'Or, as I've been mentioning with the Arsenal players, is his team, are stuttering in the title race, and unless things turn around, it's looking like he might end the season trophyless, denting his Ballon d'Or hopes. Injuries is also another thing, as he is currently injured now and might be for a prolonged period, but I'm sort of just assuming that it's not going to be that bad and he'll be back soon, and when he is back he picks up his form. But I think he'll rank higher than last year, but not high enough, unfortunately. Okay, by the way, as well, I should say, from this top 15 onwards, now we're getting on to players who, start to have a bit more of a genuine chance of winning the thing. Before, we're just players who are going to get a nomination, but now we're starting to get into players who might actually have a chance of winning this thing entirely. So in our 14th, we have Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk came agonisingly close to a Ballon d'Or win in 2019, finishing as a runners-up to Lionel Messi, with many feeling he actually deserved to win it over Messi. That was perhaps his best chance to lift the trophy, as that year he led his Liverpool team to a Champions League victory. Well, Van Dijk has a chance of redemption this year, with a potential Champions League and Premier League double on the cards. It would be hard for Van Dijk to be snubbed twice. As captain for Liverpool, he has once again been imperious at the back and could lead them to a very special season. Rodri's recent win shows that voters are now considering defensive-minded players, meaning Van Dijk definitely has a chance of redemption. However, with Mo Salah being the star of the Liverpool team, his chances are slightly diminished, which is why he is in 14th spot. In 13th, we have Florian Wirtz. Wirtz made his first Ballon d'Or shortlist in 2024, and he is likely to become a staple over the next decade or so, as the 21-year-old continues to build upon last season. He has begun this season in similar form to the way he ended the previous one, with bucket loads of goals and assists to his name. Wirtz has also been sensational in the Champions League as one of the best performing players in the league phase, which will also help his case. Xabi Alonso's side, however, do not look the same proposition in the Bundesliga as they were in the title-winning season last year, so Wirtz may need to play even better to get himself in true Golden Ball contention. And if Leverkusen go trophyless, which could happen, then his hopes are all but over. In 12th spot, we have Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe may not have enjoyed the start to life at Real Madrid that he or the club's fans might have wanted, but he is still scoring a fair share of goals, and obviously has the ability to take his game to another level once he gets used to his new surroundings. It's no secret that Mbappe craves the Ballon d'Or. However, there is a concern that he might have joined the one club where there is a more impactful player than him right now. While Mbappe has struggled so far, there is a very real possibility he turns it around in the second half of the season, leading Madrid to glory. In fact, he has slowly in recent weeks started to show signs of improvement. However, this is just hypothetical, and so right now Mbappe doesn't really have much of a chance of winning the Ballon d'Or, but just for the amount of goals he is scoring, and because I do think he probably will eventually get better, I have him in 12th. In 11th spot, we have Cole Palmer. Regarded by some as the best player in the Premier League, Palmer has picked up from where he left off last season by making a fast start to the campaign with what looks to be a revitalised Chelsea. After making it onto the Ballon d'Or shortlist in 2024, Palmer is well on track to do so again in 2025. And if it was down to just performances alone, he could be a top 3 contender. Especially if Chelsea pulled off an unlikely title win. However, his lack of Champions League football will likely hold him back from being among the true challengers come the end of the campaign. And again, like others I've mentioned, he probably will end the season without winning a major trophy. And that is why he's only in 11th spots. But he has performed absolutely incredibly this season. Into the top 10 now, and in 10th spot we have Ademola Lookman. 2024 was one of the best years for Ademola Lookman, with the Nigerian winger making headlines across Europe and Africa. From his performances for Nigeria in the African Cup of Nations to playing a pivotal role in helping Atalanta win their first European trophy, the 27-year-old star continues to rise. Lookman made last year's Ballon d'Or ranking as the only African player on the list, and he topped off 2024 by winning African Player of the Year, ahead of stars such as Mo Salah and Ashraf Hakimi. Lookman will hope for an even better year in 2025, where he could be in the running for not just the African Ballon d'Or, the World Ballon d'Or. Lookman is leading Atalanta's title charge in Serie A and is vital to their success in the Champions League too. If Atalanta could win their first ever Serie A title, with Lookman as the main man, he could well lift that golden ball come the end of 2025. In 9th spots, we have Jamal Musiala. After leading Bayern to the Bundesliga title in 2023, Musiala, like many of his teammates, endured a quieter season last time out. However, the attacking mid has carried his form from Euro 2024 into the campaign, and in recent weeks has taken his game to new levels. Musiala obviously has to contend with having a goal-scoring machine like Kane taking the headlines at Bayern, but the midfielder is doing all he can to prove he is the main guy at the Allianz Arena, with some eye-catching performances, both creating and scoring goals himself. A Bayern Munich Champions League win, and Musiala will have a great chance at winning the awards. In 8th spot we have Rafinha. There is an argument to say that Rafinha has been the best of Barcelona's electric front three this season, and his raw goal and assist numbers certainly help back that up. However, it feels like the Brazilian is the least heralded of the Barca attacking trio, and thus will likely need to boast other worldly stats to prove himself Ballon d'Or worthy. Saying that, there is no doubt that Rafinha is playing the best football of his career right now, and there is no reason to believe that he can't keep that up and become a serious Ballon d'Or contender over the course of the campaign. He's almost got double digits for goals and assists in La Liga, while he is one of the top scorers in the Champions League currently. If he can have more big moments, such as scoring a hat-trick versus Bayern Munich, then he will be for sure in contention for the Ballon d'Or this year. unfortunately though, similar to Musiala, there are just some bigger stars in his own team which will limit his ranking. In 7th spot, we have Antoine Griezmann. After a slow start to the campaign, a run of 12 straight wins has catapulted Atletico Madrid to the top of La Liga, with Griezmann yet again at the heart of everything. His goal and assist numbers are far from eye-popping, but he continues to pull the strings at the Metropolitano, meaning the likes of Julian Alvarez can thrive ahead of him. The key player behind this Atleti side is Griezmann, and at the age of 33 he is showing no signs of slowing down, creating goals, scoring goals, working hard for his team, and controlling games. Atletico could lift La Liga this season and are also dark horses for the Champions League too. If they can pull off one of these major trophies, then Griezmann will have a fantastic chance of bettering his 3rd place finish at 2018. In 6th spot we have Lamine Yamal. No player has won the Ballon d'Or before their 21st birthday, but right now it would be a shock if Yamal didn't break that record, given he has another 3 seasons to get there. There is presently no greater talent in the game than the Barcelona teenager, who, as he is showing this year, is only going to get better and better. He's being outscored by 2 of his teammates at Barca, but plenty of La Liga watchers will tell you that the 17-year-old has been the best player in Spain so far this season. As such, the Copa Trophy winner may well be back on the stage in Paris, holding an even bigger trophy. If Barca can win a major trophy, Yamal will likely be integral to it, and he could make history this year as a potential Ballon d'Or winner. At number 5 we have Harry Kane. Is this the year Kane finally ends away for his first trophy? Certainly Bayern have made a fast start in the Bundesliga, with Kane yet again showing his goal-scoring instincts remain at the highest level. Rodri's win highlighted that goals alone don't necessarily win players Ballon d'Ors anymore, but Kane certainly has the all-round game that should catch the voters' eyes. He's continued to score at a freakish rate, but the one thing of course that always holds Kane back in these conversations are trophies. A Bundesliga on its own may not be enough for a Ballon d'Or win, and he will likely need a Champions League as well in order to win this Ballon d'Or. Can Bayern do that and lift the Kane curse? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out, and if they do manage to do so, then Kane will have a genuinely great chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. In at number 4 we have Robert Lewandowski. After Lewandowski missed out on the Ballon d'Or shortlist in 2024, it seemed like the Pole's long and thus far fruitless bid to pick up the Golden Ball was over. However, having been reunited with Hansi Flick, the 36-year-old has rolled back the years to become Europe's most potent number 9 once again. Age could yet catch up with the veteran in the coming months, and there are undeniably more thrilling players to watch. But Lewandowski has set himself up to be back in the Ballon d'Or reckoning with his fast start to the campaign. He's got the most goals out of anybody in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, and if he ends this season with a La Liga trophy, or maybe even a Champions League, as Europe's most lethal scorer, there is no doubt he will be in the conversation for the Ballon d'Or. Okay, so into the top three now, and in at number three we have Jude Bellingham. Bellingham's debut season ended up winning both La Liga and the Champions League, named the Player of the Year in Spain and voted third in the Ballon d'Or rankings. While the England international is yet to quite match the outrageous goals and assist numbers of last season, he has stepped up his game once again. He has helped get Madrid's title challenge back on track, scoring recently in 6 La Liga appearances in a row. Madrid still look unconvincing, but Bellingham is helping them through a tricky period. If Madrid can eventually figure it out and win the Champions League or La Liga this season, Jude will have a great shot at winning the Ballon d'Or, as he is one of the only players in the Madrid team performing well right now. He's playing in a slightly different role to last season, but his game is perhaps more complete than ever, with Jude helping score, create and defend for his side. I have him in at number 3, like last season, but there is no reason why he cannot better that and win the entire thing if Madrid have another incredible season. Okay, in at number 2, my runner-up is Vinicius Jr. Upon confirmation of his surprise second-place finish last year, Vinicius swore that the world wasn't ready for what is now likely to become his revenge tour. The Brazilian felt that he should have been up on the stage with the Golden Ball last year, and he is ready to stake his claim yet again for 2025, where he could well lift the Ballon d'Or. Certainly, the Real Madrid winger has looked in electric form this campaign, and there might not be a forward anywhere in the world who can match Vinicius when he is at his best. He will, however, need his club as a whole to find some form in the second half of the season if he is to maintain a challenge. But Vinny looks primed to prove himself worthy in 2025. Staying fit is also another factor, as he has struggled a bit with injuries this season. But if he can stay fit, there is no reason he cannot win the Ballon d'Or this season. There is also, with Vinny, always the element of, as we saw last season, he struggled in the first half, but in the second half of the season was electric. He could well go ahead and drag Real Madrid to a La Liga and a Champions League victory, being crucial in the semis and the finals of the Champions League like it was last year. And if that happens, it would be hard to snub Vinicius 2 years in a row. Okay, so number 1, probably no surprise, Mohamed Salah. Salah is out of contract at Liverpool in the summer of 2025, and so if this does prove to be his final year at Anfield, then he looks set to be going out with a bang. Salah has rediscovered his best form under Arne Slot and is making the Reds look like genuine title contenders both in the Prem and Champions League. Age is showing no signs of catching up with the 32-year-old, who currently has the most goal contributions in the Premier League, already with double digits for goals and assists. If he can fire Liverpool to silverware come the end of the campaign, whether that be the Premier League, Champions League or even both, he could be the man to end Africa's long wait for a first Ballon d'Or winner since 1995. So, I will premise this by saying though that while Salah is doing exceptionally right now, he is by no means guaranteed to win the Ballon d'Or. The Champions League will definitely determine what happens in terms of who will lift that Golden Ball. If Liverpool were to get a shock early exit in the Champions League and a player like Vinicius, as I mentioned, went on a fantastic run in the Champions League, lifting the trophy, then Salah may well be snubbed. But as of right now, it does seem Liverpool will at least win the Premier League and have a deep run in the Champions League. And as the main man in that, Salah will likely lift the Ballon d'Or. So there we go, that is my 1 to 30 for the Ballon d'Or in 2025. I'll make a video probably updating this later down the line in 2025, but let me know who you have as your winner, who should be higher, who should be lower in this ranking, who did I miss out. If you guys have enjoyed this video,